Hey guys, it's Bradley here from Anime Spaceship, and today we have a review for My Hero Academia Season 3, Episode 4. This was a great episode, guys, so let's get right into it. First, we start off with a recap of Kota's story. Then they're re-explaining everything about Kota's parents, why he hates Zero, and everything, so I think they're using this as a way for us to connect to Kota and feel for him more as a character. And then the intro rolls along, and after the intro we go right back to Kota and one of the heroes telling Kota that one day we'll find somebody that's willing to risk his life to save him. I think the reason they use this flashback is to foreshadow something that happens later in the episode. After that we go right back to the action, but 5 minutes before everything happened, we see a racer with the 5 students, the special class students, going to they're going to their extra lessons, and when they get there, they find one student from class B and the classroom teacher from class B, the homeroom teacher, yeah. Then they suddenly get a message, a telepathic message from Mandalay, saying that heroes are here. Do not abort. Do not approach. My bad. Do not approach him. Go back to the home base. Do not approach the heroes. And a few of the students made a good remark that Mandalay's telepathic abilities to communicate is great, but the only thing that sucks about it, in my opinion too, is that it's only one way. She can only tell you something. She cannot have full-fledged conversations with you. It's only one-way communication. It's not a two-way thing. As soon as Eraser uses the message, she tells the other pro hero to stay there, and he's going after them. He's running out as fast as he can. And right before he gets out of the door, the villain Dabi tells him, "You guys are not the ones we want. Stop interfering, pro hero." And that's the last we hear of Eraser for this episode. After that, we go to the test site, the Courage test site, with Midoriya and the other 2 Pussycat heroes are staying. And 2 new villains introduce themselves and tell. What I don't understand is, if you're a villain, why would you tell the heroes where you're from? They just tell them, yeah, we are from the League of Villains. We are the Vanguard Action Squad. Shouldn't that be kept a secret? I don't know. That's just my opinion. After that, the lizard-like green with purple hair villain introduces himself as Spinner, the one who will spin his dreams into reality. He pulls out a giant blade, or should I say blades? It's a giant pole attached to multiple blades that just have a belt around them to hold them together. I'm guessing he spins it, obviously. After that, the pro hero Tiger says that Pixie Bob has been worrying about marriage these days, that she's actually trying to do something else with her life. How dare you injure that woman's face? And then Spinner retaliates by saying that a hero trying to live happily like normals, huh? And then Tiger just goes in right after them. After that, we cut off to a few students from Class B, still in the purple rain, holding their breath. And then they meet up with Tetsu, and Ibara Shiozaki from Class B, who are wearing protective gas masks. Tetsu tells him that Momo Yaoyorozo made masks for them so they can breathe. Yeah, that she made them for everybody, and she made extras, so they give them to the other students from Class B. After that, they're running away, and they're asking Tetsu why you're not going, and he brings up a good point. He's saying, "I'm fighting, even though they told me not to fight." The reason is that Class A has been, showing them off. And he tells him, "Why do you think that is? What's the difference between us and them? We've made the same exam, we've done the same things, but why are they so much better than us?" Crisis. That's the difference, because they had a crisis situation what they solved and they improved from it. And then he proceeds to say, what type of hero turns his back on evil or wrongdoers? And that's why he's going to fight. And then we switch off to the best part of the episode, or the starting of the best part of the episode. We see Kota with a weird masked man. Kota ran off to his usual hiding space, or his sitting place, the place he goes where he wants to be alone. And then you see a hooded up hero with a white mask just walk up to him and ask him to change his hat for this mask. And after the villain took off his mask, Kota realizes that he's the villain that killed his parents. and his quirk, I think his quirk is he makes a lot of muscles by he keeps making piling on muscles on his body. By doing so, he increases his strength and speed by a lot. They also show that he has a battle scar on his left eye that were caused by Kota's parents. I guess when they were fighting, they probably injured him. And he left like a scar from the top of his head all the way down to his cheek too. So I guess it must have been a good battle. Then after that, he proceeds to try to punch Kota to the ground, but Midoriya's right there to jump in and save him. But while doing so, he breaks his phone, and so he can't call anybody for help or get any backup. Then he thinks to himself, can he save Kota or do anything else? But he realizes the only thing he can do is stop trying to think and just do it and go for it. And after that, we cut off to Kachan and Todoroki walking with a hero. Todoroki has a hero on his, or student on his back, I mean, my bad. And they're walking and they come across a villain with a hand. Just a hand and blood are all over the place. And Todoroki is telling Kachan that we can't fight. We don't have to fight. They told us not to fight. And after Kachan sees that, he tells him not to fight. Are you crazy? And after that, we go back to Mandilay's and Tiger with the two villains, and they're using different tactics. Like Mandalay, as soon as Spinner's gonna attack, he tells him he has a cute face and he freezes it and he strikes him, and he calls him immature by that. Spinner says, "What a cheap trick." And then Mandalay noticed something weird, that she hasn't received a message from or a notice from Ragdoll. She hasn't received a notice from Ragdoll yet. I think, to be fair, there's like three things that could have happened. One, she died. Two, she's unconscious. Or three, she betrayed them, or like is backstabbing them. I don't know if that would happen, but that would be a fun thing to explore. There's also a pretty cool scene in this a cool part in this whole scene, that Tiger recognizes one of the villains and knows their track record, like everything they've done. Like he tells him, this is not actually what he told him, but I'm just telling you about what he said. He said like, you had like 29 robbing attempts or 29 charges of almost murdering somebody. You've robbed 12 banks and stuff like that. And I think that's a really cool aspect of a hero, like memorizing or recognizing a villain by the face, because sometimes you have to do it. So if you see, like, if you're a hero and you're walking down the street and you see a guy and you recognize him, that's a plus, because you're stopping a villain before he does something bad. And I think that's a really good skill that a pro hero should and has. Then we proceed with the fight of Midoriya and the unnamed villain. This is one of the best scenes I like in this season. I think this is like the best scenes, one of the best parts yet. They proceed to fighting, and the villain is just toying with Midoriya. They're fighting. Midoriya's using about, I think, 5%. Even if he's using 10% at this point, the villain, it's nothing to the villain. He punches him and he tells him, "You're pretty fast, but not strong enough. You're gonna save who?" And let's mocks him and just makes fun of him. And then they keep fighting and fighting, and Midoriya realizes that he's no match at this point. He can't beat him. So then he tries 100% of one for all and hits the guy, and the guy just disappears. And he blows away Kota from the mountain and then grabs him with his teeth, because after he uses 100%, his body can handle it, and his right arm, I think his right arm is injured. Yeah, then he tells Kota, "Let's go back to the camp. Let's go back to somewhere safe." And then the guy just walks. The guy just has like a ball of muscle. I think it's like he's using it to protect himself. And he tells him, "That was pretty good." And then just see the fear in Midoriya, like, he's not dead yet? He's not done? That was 100% of all for one. What? And then the hero tells him that it was a strong punch, but it was expected. It was such an obvious punch. So I guess he could have built up like a block or something to hold off and not get knocked out. After that, you see Midoriya knocked down to the ground because the guy just punched him, and he's having like an argument with Kota. Kota told him like, "Yeah, those two guys, the water horsemen, those were my parents. Why did you kill them? The world is bad because of people like you." And then he tells him that he was just doing what he wanted. He wanted to kill, and they tried to stop him. So it's two people doing what they want. So what's wrong with that? What's wrong to wanting to do something that's not right? After that, we continue with the fight, and that Midori realizes that the villain was playing with him all along. He wasn't even using like 50%. He was just toying around with him. And when he realizes this, he knows that he can't save both of them, like keep dodging until they reach the camp. So the only thing he can do is face him, is not giving him his back, because when you give a villain your back, you just pray. And then he tells Kota that when this hits, run away as fast as you can. And Midoriya proceeds to rush at him and trying to hit him, but the guy made like the giant ball muscle again and contorts it to grab his hand. And he's just holding on. He tells him, I will not let you get past me, because a hero's job is to make the lip service into reality. And then you see him slowly going down until he gets crushed. And then you see like the light fade away from his eye. But then Kota finally uses his quirk, which was water, of course, and hits him in the face and tells him to stop. And when Midoriya sees this, as soon as he sees this, he gets like more strength, and then pushes him back. And then this is the best part in the series yet. Midoriya uses one for all, 1,000,000%. And with this, he completely destroys the villain. I was so excited while watching this, because you can see like he put like all of it. That was all of it. That was what's that theory again? When somebody's life is in danger, their brain removes the limiters on their body so they can use like 120, 150% of their physical abilities. But when you do that, you damage your body. It was a cool scene, but I want to see like in the next episode what's the consequence of using that. Like what's happened to his body. I don't know. Because if you use like 100% and his arm is just like red and damaged, what would happen if you use 1,000,000%? If I had to rate this episode, I would rate it a 9 out of 10. I know that's like a little like high, but just for the scene of Midoriya and his fight, Midoriya and the unnamed villains fight, I'm a junkie for fighting or action scenes. I love them. I love them with a passion. So guys, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. This was Bradley from Anime Spaceship. Peace.